Welcome back. My name is Leslie and I'm Artfully Whimsy. On this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to wrap your fabric around the cord to make a great fabric bowl. Let's get started. For the next part of this project, you're going to need your cord, some scissors, Scotch tape, a couple of binder clips, doesn't matter what size. I tend to like the small ones, but the bigger ones are good too. And your 3/4 inch fabric strips that we cut on the bias in the last tutorial. Now, a word about the cord. The best cord that I found online at Amazon.com. This package is about $12 for 200 feet. It's braided clothesline, and you want to make sure that you get cotton. It's very important that you have a cotton blend cord, because that way your needle goes through it and your needle doesn't break. This is the cheapest I've found. There's other alternatives. You can also buy the cord that you can buy at like an upholstery store. And it comes in all kinds of different widths. This is going to be more expensive. I think this was like 29 cents a yard. And when you buy it like this, it ends up being like, I don't know, 15 cents a yard or something like that. It's something crazy. So this is the best cord to get. What I've done is I took this cord out of the packaging, and I've found, and I've learned through trial and error, that if you just use it the way that it's wrapped here as you're wrapping the cord, eventually it's going to become a big, huge knot. So what I've done is I've taken the cord and wrapped it around an old ruler that I had and tied it up here at the top, as you can see, and then wrapped it around this ruler. That way I'm not going to get knots as I'm wrapping my cord. Okay, to start us off, we're going to take a small piece of tape, and because this is the first end of the cord as it came out of the package, I'm going to just wrap this end a little bit with tape, and that's going to be fine. Your needle's going to go through it just fine, so the tape is not a problem. Now, I've seen a lot of tutorials that talk about putting glue on your fabric as you're wrapping it. I find that that's unnecessary, and it's just another material that you have to pay for, and while it may make it a little bit sturdier and have a little bit more strength, it's just not necessary. So also remember that I'm left-handed, so the way I'm wrapping this is how I do as a left-handed person. If you're right-handed, you may have to try to switch. So first I take my fabric, make sure you have the right side, and I'm going to lay the fabric over the top of the cord, and the beginning part is the hardest part to start this off. So I'm going to wrap it and try to get it as close to the edge as possible. And I'm just going to wrap it a couple of times, just so that it's started. You don't want to make it too thick. So here's a little bit more of a close-up. I've wrapped the beginning, and now I'm starting to wrap it at an angle, so I'm going to stick the binder clip on there. And I'm going to go over the top and hold it tight with these fingers, so my opposite fingers, I'm going to hold it tight there, and I'm going to pull it up and wrap it. You want to make sure that you overlap. You want to overlap pieces, okay? You don't want the cord to ever show. So I'm going to flip it over the top, pull it under, grab it with my right hand, flip it over the top again. I'm going to grab and hold on to that overlap piece, and I'm going to flip it, grab onto it again, flip it under and over, hold on to the overlap, flip it over. And that is it. You just keep doing this until you have as much cord as you want wrapped. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes quite fast. You can do this while watching TV. I've even read my Kindle while doing this. But it's quite relaxing because it's methodical. It's the same motion over and over, and you eventually just kind of get into a rhythm, and I found that it's a great way to relax after a long day at work. So we're going to just keep wrapping this until we get to the end, and then I'm going to show you how to add one piece to another. Now you'll notice as I'm getting to the end, my cord is starting to kind of curl. That's going to happen because as you're wrapping, you sort of naturally begin twisting the cord. It's not going to matter when you go to make the bowl. So just be aware that it does start getting twisty, which is why it's important to have your cord wrapped onto something, or else it's going to create a big knot. So here I am at the end of this piece, and I'm going to need to start a new piece. Again, I've seen some tutorials where they put glue here, which you can do if you want, but again, it's not necessary. So I'm going to add a piece. I've got about a ½ inch to an inch right here left over as sort of a tail. So I'm going to grab this piece of fabric and put it up over the top. And then I'm going to make sure that this piece is covering that piece. So I'm wrapping it around, and then this new piece comes up and over. And you'll see here that now we've got a little bit of this tag from this first piece, and then we've got our long piece. You want to try to wrap that little tag, that little tail, as much as you can. You're not going to be able to wrap it all. So let's try it again. So you've got your tail. You're going to put this piece on the inside of the tail and wrap it. Use your right hand, or if you're opposite-handed, your left hand. Hold that in place, flip it over, and try to wrap as much as that tail of the first piece inside your second piece as you can. You don't want to wrap too many times right here. If you wrap too many times right here, this piece of your cord is going to be thicker, and it's going to cause your bowl as it's being built to kind of create a little lump. So you don't want to wrap it too much and overlap too much, but just enough so that it holds the tail of the first piece in place and then starts your second piece. You'll also notice here that there is a little bit of tail showing, and that's okay too. I can fix that as I'm sewing. I can sew the two pieces of cord over each other like this when it's sewn, and then that little tail is going to be sewn in, and it's not going to be a problem. If it is sticking out in the bowl at the very end, I can clip it off. So if you have this little triangular tail sticking out here, not a problem, don't worry about it. So now we just continue wrapping. Now I've wrapped about 3 strips around this already, and let's say I want to take a break. I want to get up, grab a sandwich, have to take care of the dogs or watch a movie, whatever you want to do. What you can easily do is take a binder clip, grab it on there, and you can save it for later. So that's an easy way to hold your fabric in place so that you can walk away. And there you have it. We've now begun wrapping our fabric around our cord, and you just continue doing this for several yards, probably 15 to 20 yards to begin. On the next tutorial, we'll take a look at how you begin sewing your fabric bowl on your sewing machine. It's so simple, you won't even believe it. Catch you next time. Thanks for joining me.